things are really coming together here, and not in a great way. I don't think so. More so, I mean, for our characters. They're not in, it's not looking good. So last episode, the thing I'm actually still not sure of, I guess I should have went back and checked before starting this, but whatever, we'll just get into it. I believe I misunderstood. So the Celia was talking about the idea that they have defeated, it was like 12 or 14 or 16 different people so far, and that they're like, they've gotten to the point where the next one is like the big one that they've been anticipating and expecting before things like really get bad. So probably the final one, right? But I also don't know if they said that was the case or if we have one more before that. I don't remember. That's what I should have rechecked on. But I was confused because it seemed like when they were like, all right, we've now defeated this many, I was just like, well, what happened to the one that we just had at the beginning of the episode? Completely slipping my mind that the self-destruction that Ray did likely ended up taking it out. So I kind of missed it there. But I think we're good on that. So now I don't actually remember if they said it was this one that we're coming into or the next one after. For the Angels will be the one that they're kind of anticipating, and that's the last one. So we'll end up seeing whatever the scrolls decided that I wanted to take us down. We revealed a lot of stuff. Ritsuko is losing her damn mind right now. All the Rays are gone. We can't possibly bring any more back. Asuka doesn't want to fight. Shinji doesn't, or Shinji probably will fight. That Ray literally doesn't care. She's just still obeying orders. And it's not looking good because we've had a lot of losses, it seems like, over the last few episodes. So where they go from here, I don't know. Lots of Avas in production for them to do the things they want. I don't know what that means for us, or if that's just some sort of background thing to let you know, like, that they are progressing and moving towards their goals, but they're not actually immediate, like, focuses for us because we're focused on some other stuff, whatever it is. Again, those big plans end up coming out to be. So I guess we'll end up having to see that. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you like it all, like and subscribe to me a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Let me comments with this episode or series. We're going with the director's cut of episode 24. Oh no. Oh no, back to this. So we'll be fine. We won't be. Okay. Running to see that's insane. Damn. Damn. Gotta lay it on to her, but at least somebody's telling her, right? This place is destroyed, dude. Who? I didn't recognize the voice. Okay, so she... Gotcha. Okay. No, we're caught up now. The who? The who? Is it someone else from the school again? Is it the boy? Yeah, that's frightening. Don't show me that again. I'm not actually aware of any other characters, so I don't think it would be someone new. I don't know though. But like, come on. Well, just using you. Get you on his side. Why? I don't understand. Don't cry out to her. Yeah, that's probably not. You can probably ignore that. That's like one of the last people she wants to hear about. Okay. Jeez. Right, I'm with you, dude. Seeking out the others about things that you should do now. Everyone seems to be at a loss. The boy? No, his hair is different, not him. Who are you and why are you dressed like Shinji? Who the fuck are you? Introduce yourself. That's the question to ask. Okay. I was getting the vibe that you were, but still. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh.
今日のところは小細工をやめて素直に彼の実力見せてもらいましょう。フラグシット固定中。
Look how happy he is to be here. Okay, so they're using him in place of Asuka.
でも事実なのよ。事実をまず受け止めてから原因を探ってみて。
Why is he singing so well? Well, I guess we never using it too as... Yeah.
綾波レイ。君は僕と同じだね。お互いにこの星で生きていく体はリリンと同じ形へと行き着いたか。
Same form as hope?
あなた誰にもかかわらず、未だ正体不明。何者なの？あの少年。
Other versions similar. So, but he's not made here, I would assume. Just because there's no way that they're doing that without us knowing. So it could also be a silly type of decision thing, or it could be a thing being made while they're producing other Avas elsewhere and transferring him here. He has a little bit more emotion, though. Like the advanced version of her. Why are you looking at him like that?
僕は君ともっと話がしたいな。一緒に行っていいかい？
Sure.
シャワーだよ。これからなんだろ？ダメなのかい？いや別にそういうわけじゃない。
I didn't think anybody would ever want to hang out with me. Oh, together? Oh. I thought we were going back to his place to do it.
極端に避けるね、君は。怖いのかい？人と触れ合うなら。
Yep.
他人を知らなければ裏切られることも、互いに傷つくこともない。でも、寂しさを忘れることもない。
Yup. Wow. The brother is just reading right through it. This isn't.
ただ忘れることができるから、人は生きてゆけるのさ。
He let him touch him, but not Masato? Shinji? You got something you want to tell us?
もう終わりなのか？
もう寝なきゃ。
君と？
いや、普通には部屋が用意されてると思うよ。
Aww.
常に人間は心に痛みを感じている。心が痛がりだから生きるのも辛いと感じる。
Brett's not looking at your eyes, I can tell you that.
僕が
そう、好意に値するよ。
好意？
好きってことさ。
I don't know. So he feels like a version that's more motivated to open up and allow the others to work. That's kind of what I'm getting. That the personality and everything placed within him is supposed to allow the others to feel like they have place and happiness and everything that they could ever want, right? And he's just saying all the right things. And he's putting his own into action.
ネルフとエヴァシリーズを本来の姿にしておかねばな。だが我らの願いを妨げるロンギヌスの槍はすでにないのだ。間もなく最後の使徒が現れる。それを消せば願いが叶う。
What the fuck was that? And calling her that.
なぜここにいるの？私、なぜまた生きてるの？
So he wanted to get rid of the spear. I didn't think that was, I thought we needed it, but okay.
私と同じ感じがする。どうして？もうこの次の保証はないの。だから明日からはホラキさんちのお世話。しばらくお別れね。
No.
君は何を話したいんだい？僕に聞いてほしいことがあるんだ。
They literally developed a therapist for the boy. Crazy.
穏やかで何にもない日々だった。ただそこにいるだけの。
Now I have purpose and things I have to protect and fight for. People expect things out of me. It's a mess.
どうでもよかったんだと思う。ただ父さんは嫌いだった。どうしてカオル君にこんなこと。
Right, why do you feel so at ease and comfortable around, bro?
僕は君に会うために生まれてきたのかもしれない。
Alright, well.
神に等しき力を手に入れようとしている男がいる。我らの他に再びパンドラの箱を開けようとしている男がいる。
Okay. Okay, it makes more sense now. Okay, I got it.
希望は人の心の中にしか存在しないからだ。だが我らの希望は具象化されている。
それは偽りの継承者である黒き月よりの我らの人類、その始祖たるリリス。
そして正当な継承者たる
Jesus. I gotta go back and reread those.
そのサルベージされた魂は君の中にしかない。
Yeah?
生成された肉体はすでに怒りの中にある。
シンジ君の父親、彼も僕と同じか。
だからこそお前に託す我らの願いを。
Oh, fuck.
唇の動きが読めない。それにしてもこんな朝っぱらから独り言を言うために散歩とは危ないやつね。
So she can't see any of that.
気づかれた？まさかね。
No, it's possible.
謎は深まるばかりだわ。エバーとのシンクロ率を自由に設定できるとはね。それも自分の意志で。
Wow, I wonder why that's the case.
ここでの会話、録音されるわよ。構わないわ。あの少年のフィフスの正体は何？おそらく最後の死者。
さあ行くよ。おいで。
Final Messenger is a crazy name. Brother.
エヴァ2号機。
Brother.
そんなバカな。アスカは
303病室です。
Bro.
無人です。2号機にエントリープラグはそこに。
That's literally him.
2号機？いえ、
パターン青。間違いありません。人です。
ですって。あの少年。
Yes. The creation of, yes. So if I understood correct the earlier conversation, it seemed like they stated that the makeup of him, how he talked about the souls that we place within like Rei, is placed directly in him of Adam, but Gendo has the physical body of Adam that they kind of need. I mean, sometimes that's just how it go. You just gotta. It's also crazy to say that they can rely on Unit 1 because she worked for them, right? So, like, it's kind of her deciding if she wants to side with Gendo or them. After I said everything to him, I told him everything. Now you gotta go and you gotta fucking kill him. The music is insane. One of the same. Yeah.
僕もアダムより生まれし者だからね。魂さえなければ同化できるさ。この2号機の魂は今自ら閉じこもっているから。
Okay. So it allows him to That's why his rates are so fucking unreal.
人にも侵されざる聖なる領域、心の光。リリンも分かってるんだろ？ AT フィールドは誰もが持っている心の壁だということ。
Jesus. He's like, you know all about that. No, he doesn't.
ここを自爆させるんですね。サードインパクトが起こされるよりはマシですから。
すまないわね。
いいですよ。あなたと一緒なら。
ありがとう。
Crazy. I was getting those vibes from bro before, I'm not gonna lie.
定めか。人の希望は悲しみに綴られているな。
Holy fuck. Bro, he's insane. Look at him.
最終安全装置解除。ヘブンズドアが開いていきます。
ついにたどり着いたのね。
Oh, fuck.
ヒューマ君。
It's time. Come on, Shinji.
侵入していきます。まさか新たな使徒。
ダメです。確認できません。いえ、消失しました。
消えた。使徒が。
Oh, because it's Ray.
アダム、我らの母たる存在。アダムに生まれし者はアダムに帰らねばならないのか。人を滅ぼしても。
We must all return to you despite.
リリス。そうか、そういうことか、リリン。
I don't know who the fuck Lilith is supposed to be, but the other ones that he keeps talking about, I'm assuming he's just referencing as like people that aren't him, like actual born humans.
シンジ君、2号機は君に止めておいてもらいたかったんだ。そうしなければ彼女と生き続けたかもしれないからね。
カオル君、どうして？
僕が生き続けることが僕の運命だからだよ。このまま死ぬこともできる。生と死は等価値なんだ、僕にとってはね。自らの死、それが唯一の絶対的自由なんだよ。
何を？カオル君。
I don't either. I really do.
だよ。さあ、僕を消してくれ。そうしなければ君らが消えることになる。滅びの時を免れ、未来を与えられる生命体は一つしか選ばれないんだ。そして君は死すべき存在ではない。君たちには未来が必要だ。ありがとう。君に会えて嬉しかったよ。
I don't get it. Ah. Looks like we're about to squeeze bro to fucking death. They're really having a moment here. Just like the Rays. Now we power.
好きだって言ってくれたんだ。僕のこと。初めて人から好きだって言われたんだ。
I didn't even think about that.
僕に似てたんだ。綾波にも。
Was he like you though?
好きだったんだ。
You did?
残るなら、カオル君の方だったんだ。生き残るべきだったんだ。
違うわ。生き残るのは生きる意志を持った者だけよ。彼は死を望んだ。生きる意志を放棄して見せかけの希望にすがったのよ。シンジ君は悪くないわ。
冷たいね、ミサトさん。
Just kind of how she's had to be, dude. All right, I gotta rewatch that. I don't know what the fuck. God, remember like what was it? A couple episodes ago, I think it was the first one of the director's cut, so 21 when I started, or at the end of it in the discussion, and I was like, I was planning to watch the whole thing. I was planning just to finish it in like a day or two. And then now it's been like a week and a half. And I've been like slowly going through because I have to do one damn episode at a time, and I have to edit every single one because I can't keep up. There's so much that I need to. Ugh, it hurts. It hurts. So this will be another one of those talks where I'm just rambling about nonsense, and nothing's gonna make sense or sound like it makes sense, and I'm not gonna have a clue what I'm talking about, and I'm just gonna yap. And then I'll rewatch it, and then I'll still not have a clue what's happening, and then I'll just go into the next episode. It's just going to be one of those again. Because if I really wanted to do it justice and go in and figure absolutely everything out, if we're being honest, I probably got to finish the series to fully grasp it, to fully understand. There's just a lot of stuff that gets presented. And some of it is like new, unless it's not, and I'm just stupid and can't remember, which could be the case. It just insane. So, okay, before I skip through, I guess there's some things definitely on the mind that I would like to talk about. And it goes with the relationship that Shinji gets formed here with the fifth child throughout this episode. And honestly, I think it's pretty cool. And I really liked it. It's interesting because we get to see over the last episode Shinji getting closed off or continuing to close himself off, and we've seen that for 20 episodes now, right? And especially like when somebody like Masato's around, and him closing himself off to that, and not being able to be kind of comforted by this other person, his struggles to get close to another person, and the things that he's kind of gone through up to that point. It's been difficult for him, right? Also having to be the one, you know, firsthand having to kill these people that are close to him, seeing somebody like Rhaegar, like there's a lot of bad things that have happened, especially over the last couple episodes. So it makes it even harder now for somebody who already doesn't like displeasant things and shuts himself off from it entirely to then want to open himself up and see other people that are, you know, around other people like that. It's not easy. And it's even harder as this time kind of progresses. So he finds himself where he's like completely lost and lonely and just doesn't have anything, and he doesn't really know what to do. So what else do we do? Let's send somebody in who's like the nicest, sweetest dude ever, who is just willing to like talk to you for you and hear you out and let you do it, you know, just great dude all around. And of course Shinji's easily able to like, all right, I can click and I can connect with this person, and this is a person that he's able to basically call a friend by the end of it. Like we have our friends with the boys, right? We got them. But if we really look back and we think a lot about all the relationships and everybody that Shinji's kind of had a relationship formed with up to this point, none of them feel natural, I guess. Like none of them feel like they like Shinji. It just doesn't feel like that. And I've never really felt that way. It's always felt like Asuka, for example, clearly there's nothing there. Also, she's at the state right now where she's just broken entirely, so that's not going to happen. You look at Rey, especially after what Shinji just witnessed, how can he go out of his way, seek out Rey and open himself up to her, somebody who can't comprehend and understand these things, when he was venting about his father before, shutting him down entirely and being like, no, you just don't see it from his perspective. It's just like, it's not really what he wants to be hearing or needing right now. Masato, who he's openly, you know, shut down multiple of those attempts that she's made and her own struggles that she has to do it, because she can't really comprehend and understand him as a person. She never has been able to, and she likely never will. It's not a person that you can really open yourself up to. We got the boys at school who initially, if we're being honest, and even everybody else in the school never became friends with him because of him. Became friends with him because they found out that he was the pilot and wanted to learn and gain information. And then Toji and the other one just stick around because they were obsessed with Masato, so they figured that it was opportunities to get closer to him and, you know, go and see her all the time, right? And it's kind of just how that evolved over time. And not trying to say that somebody like Toji was never like actually Shinji's friend, because we do get to see them grow closer throughout the series, like understanding each of them and their relationship a little bit better, but it wasn't naturally built the proper way. So of course, when somebody's at his absolute lowest here, in the most like vulnerable state that you're really going to find him in here, with Shinji opening and finding somebody who right away is taking an interest in you and wanting to hear you out and wanting to speak to you and talk to you and letting you know that it's okay for you to kind of let all that stuff out, and not talking to you as if you're the pilot, not talking to you about, you know, the things that he's heard about you, you know, from everybody else and that knowledge and everything, but more so just wanting to know what's going on in your own brain and understand you as a person and get closer to you and form that kind of solid of a relationship. It's a really great thing, and it allows him to finally have somebody that he feels like he can be open with, that he feels like he can kind of vent his frustrations out to, that he feels like he can kind of bounce these ideas and everything off to, who will say all the right things and the right, you know, he's just the perfect dude at the end of the day. That's kind of what they're building him out to be. So not saying that, you know, everybody that you would have to find in that situation, or even saying that anybody else that Shinji found, you know, would have to say all the perfect things. We just happen to run into the one that does. It's just kind of the perfect scenario to really find yourself in. And I don't know, I think it's great for us to finally build that connection, build that friendship that he has, allow him to see that there are others out there that still see that, allow him to open himself up. We've seen before, you know, the pilots not opening themselves or their hearts up in that conversation and everything that we observed before throughout this episode, and we've talked about for a few of them, and that's been my concern with why Asuka hasn't been able to pilot, is because she's not opening herself up, which we will talk a little bit about later when it comes back to Unit 2. But I don't know. I think it was a really cool display. I don't know if the, I guess, romantic kind of ways that they were developing their relationship or trying to make it out to be with, you know, talking about how they love each other and everything was intentional in that sort of way. It may have been. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Like, it really doesn't. I don't know. I'm trying to think if it does, but I don't think it really matters regardless. I think it's just, I'd be interested to see if that was the intentional way for them to kind of write this, or if they more so just meant it in a way that, like, they love each other as the way that, you know, you have that person that you can talk to and be around and extremely close to, like almost like a best friend in that sort of scenario. Shinji, I think, might have been handling it a little different. He was even blushing in those moments, so he may have been handling it a little different, actually. I don't know. I don't think it really matters, but yeah, I thought that was just a really cool introduction, regardless of how it was meant. That's kind of the way that I took it, and I think that's really cool because he needed somebody like that, especially for him in this point. It created a bad moment now because, of course, he had to kill him by the back end, and he lost him. That only thing that's close, so now he's just going to be broken again, I'd assume. So where he goes from here, I have no idea. We've torn him down so many times and tried to have him bounce back, and every time he just fails over and over, and he's not able to get there. So I don't know. It's kind of rough for the boy. I don't know. That was like the only structured thing I think I had to say. And we'll just kind of go through the episode now and talk about it because there's still some other stuff, insane imagery. But of course, Asuka having to run through and having to see that, and then us getting to see her getting the realization from Shinji about Kaji. And then I'm assuming this is not in their home anymore, tub empty and everything, the way that it's rusted and the way that we see everything else kind of crumbled and stuff around them, would be my assumption that she basically ran away. Especially, like, I mean, look, the ceiling and everything is open, unless this is just the lasting impact from the things that ended up occurring after the self-destruction and stuff by Rei. But regardless, she ends up getting somebody who comes and captures her here, so that they end up sending her and bringing her into the hospital. This guy here is out here making his moves, going crazy, down horrendous for Masato. I mean, listen, I get it, but it's not gonna work, buddy. It's not gonna work. We end up bringing in the fifth child. The fifth child has absolutely no info about them. Crazy how that works, right? Similarity to Rei, talking about leaving the cat behind, never get to see her again. He's only worried about business, you know, only worried about work, and her being like, I want to do everything for you, you know, I would have gave you everything. It's like, brother, you should have realized it from the beginning you were getting used. I still don't get what they see. I still don't. He's so cold-hearted. He literally is doing everything for his own benefits. I mean, I guess because we get to see that on the outside. But, like, damn, dude, like, I don't get it. I do not get it. They're really tapping into every family aspect that he can. Mother, daughter, he created his own daughter out of his wife. Like, he's hitting everything he can here. Shinji, I mean, this line immediately, right? What can I do? What can I talk to Asuka about? I don't know. She probably wouldn't have anybody. It's like, look at him. He has absolutely nobody that he wants to. Everybody left their homes. I'm all alone. There's nothing there. I can't really go out of his way and talk to somebody after what happened. None of these people kind of be able to put me on that right path. So we have to meet the person that will, right? And look at him right here. Yeah, crazy. A beautiful background for them to have here. Well aware of Shinji, he immediately just starts blushing over him, bro. Down horrendous from the beginning. There's a bunch of info that we need to learn specifically about him that they don't actually state or anything just yet, and Masato learns a little bit. You're just like me, aren't you? She immediately kind of picks up on it. So I'm assuming the Lilims that he talks about is just humans. That would make the most sense to me, which is based on the context of, like, the way that he's presented every conversation that he has, like people that actually are like Shinji or Masato and stuff, and not people like him and Rei, would be my guess. And for whatever reason, that's how he kind of classifies or views them. But Rei questions like, dude, you're literally me. Which I guess could be taken multiple ways as we develop the idea that him being an angel himself. Are we talking more so because Rei is one? Or are we talking because he is human that has kind of soul implanted upon it. I don't know. Either way, it works, but I'm just not exactly certain the direction that they're talking about, because if we're going, he's angel, then, I mean, Ray, we saw last episode, basically is one, right? So really she can form in this huge thing that makes her out to be one. So that's kind of how I end up reading that, and them being kind of versions of humans and everything anyways. Would make a lot of sense. So she sees that and he's like, damn, bro, just looking right through and seeing me here. And immediately he comes in and talks to Shinji like they're boys. No problem at all. You know, I'd love to keep talking with you. I'd love to hear you out. And they connect very easily. We learn a lot about people being kind of lonely. We learn a lot about, you know, kind of trying to forget those things and move past them and everything. But we gotta get together. We got a bit more. Talks a lot about the heart and people kind of closing themselves off. Nerve being created as ways to execute the things that Seely's trying to do. Makes sense, but we have somebody else kind of in between now with Gendo and what exactly he's trying to form and do. It's kind of a big deal here. So this also confuses me. So now apparently he doesn't want the spear. Apparently apparently that's not something he needed at all, which I'm under the impression that it was going to be a big deal and we definitely needed it for something. And now apparently he wanted that gone and they wanted it and they were aware of it. So that's a thing. Him calling the Eva Yui is crazy, talking to it like that. So I'm also wondering, because they proposed the idea later about like a lot of stuff relying on what Unit 1 decides to do, which would leave me under the assumption of like, is Yui full control here, deciding like now she has to decide if she wants to side with Gendo and the things that he's doing, or side with Seely and doing what they want. Because specifically they talked about before how he got close to her to be able to get close to them, or that was the rumor at least that we had, but now, and also finding out that she would do like anything that they kind of asked her to do. So she has strong alliances essentially to each side here. So if they're kind of in each of them relying on what the plans and tasks are of this other person, I guess that would kind of make sense. Ray really still questioning as to exactly who he is. Poor Pen gotta be gone. Rip the boy. They've gotta miss him. Definitely gotta miss him. Talk things through a little bit more. Shinji's like, why the hell am I telling you all these things? He's literally the therapist for him. That's maybe I was bored so that I'd meet you. He's crazy. He's a man. He's not one of us. He's basically trying to be a god. He's trying to open the box. Crazy. So this is where they start. This is like where I really started getting confused in understanding. So we talk about Lilith and Adam. So we have two sides here essentially. Lilith seems to be the creator of man, whereas Adam seems to be the creator of like the angels and everything, unless I'm misunderstanding that, but that's kind of what it seems to be. We later end up going and visiting Lilith, which we end up finding out, or visiting Adam in the actual form and everything, which we later end up finding out apparently isn't the case and is actually Lilith this entire time. How? Why? Also, why are we just bringing this? This is the thing that I'm like really confused on, is like, why 2 episodes from the end do we decide, okay, let's start dropping these things that haven't been, like, as far as I'm aware, hinted of, talked on, or anything in the slightest until we get to this point. They're just like, ah, by the way, this is a thing. Like, just throwing it at you is kind of messy. Yeah, so Adam, creator of the angels, basically. And then they talk about the angels are the true successors of the lost white moon. And they mentioned something about, what was the black moon one? So the humans are the false successors of the black moon, whatever the fuck that means. And the angels are the true successors of the white moon, whatever the fuck that means. But apparently the savage soul that they end up obtaining of Adam here ends up residing within our 5th child. And then they end up going on and talking about Gendo. I want to get the exact line. His resurrected body already exists within Icar, which is wild to think. So we see at one point Gendo looks on his hand and he has some shit kind of like implanted, it seems, within it. So the theory and idea that I be coming here to is... at the end, he goes, I'm assuming this is all what happened as well. It seems he goes out of his way to essentially like end the world in a way, or create the third impact would be my assumption. and by reconnecting the soul of himself with Adam, which would then give, you know, the angels everything that they kind of need and ability for that to occur, but ends up getting down there and finding out that it is Lilith and not actually Adam at this point. So now he's like, well, shit, I guess that's not gonna fucking happen, and for whatever reason just decides, all right, let me give up and let you fucking kill me and do away with me. And also I'm unclear of what his reasons is for that. Maybe it truly was like a interest in Shinji and allowing him to live on forward, him realizing in that moment, like, well, this didn't work, so I should give you the opportunity to keep going because you deserve to live, is like essentially what he was ended up saying there. So I guess that would make sense. So the actual physical version of Adam isn't this thing that we've been led to believe the entire time, and the thing that they've called it the entire time, but is actually Lilith, and Gendo himself has the physical version of Adam, I'm assuming, within himself, unless they're talking about the Lilith and the soul and everything of that actually being a part of what Gendo is. Could be an option, I guess, but they find themselves to end up being essentially the same here. So that's also what he says, he's also the same as me, so it would make me think maybe that's the soul of it, but for whatever reason it's causing like physical damage and stuff to him. I don't know, I guess that could make sense. So he's basically being brought in by all of them, and I'm assuming that means that Gendo's not too like well aware of his connection to it, or maybe he is because he seems to be well aware of like so many other things. And he's all alone. Masato can't read, and I'm guessing that she also couldn't see any of those things that actually come up of what Sela is. She's able to see it from the distance here. We ask exactly who he is. He's the final messenger. So does that mean that he's like, I don't know if that means he's the final angel that we had to go against, and that's the one that they were talking about, or if he's the prior one to what it is, and then now we have like a climax of like whatever that's going to be, or if all of that ended up coming here. Adam's alter ego and servant. So I'm assuming he's just talking about what the Avas are, the creation of them and themselves, and he tries to connect here with Unit 2. We get to see Asuka, a glimpse of her completely destroyed here. He's able to go in and like sync himself regardless to it, but it doesn't actually reach the rates or like do the things that it needs to, due to the fact that it seems to be closed off in some sort of way. And then they're really questioning why that's the case, which my assumption would just be because it's similar to what happened before, where it seemed like what was it, Unit 1, I think it was rejecting Rei when she was in it, and it's because it was only willing to open itself to Shinji, or maybe because Shinji was like kind of gone and it was like kind of boycotting the whole situation. It was like, I'm not doing this. But also I guess could just be Yui herself kind of not opening herself up unless Shinji is involved. So whoever it is, if we're still going off just the random assumption that it could be like Asuka and her mother, or it could be like somebody else that she's related to at that point, right, a part of this, then we can utilize that as like she's not opening herself up still, so this thing's rejecting anybody and anything that kind of comes in contact and tries to utilize it. I guess would make sense. So we definitely could do that, because it also would track with the beginning situation of the episode where they talk about, where Asuka immediately goes in to like let her know that she became the pilot and then sees her dead, which we end up getting to see in that episode with our flashback too, where they talk about that she killed herself, but also that might not be all that there is to it. So there might be more to it. So it's almost like she ended up doing that, but then they still used her somehow. I guess could be the situation. Shinji won't accept the fact that he is the angel, but he ends up going after him because he ended up betraying him. Really cool fighting. He spews a lot of stuff, and I get really confused. Can merge with them only if they didn't have souls. So all of these ones, so yeah, we are hinting towards that has a soul within it, and he's incapable of fully being able to merge with it, and it's shut itself away. So we have the assumption that that's what the case is. The sacred domain of the light of the soul. I don't know, crazy. There's so fucking much. They end up coming to whatever the fuck state this is. I have zero clue, but insane looking. We end up going for it. He ends up going underground and tries to touch this, and he's incapable. He continues to grow, and he gets fucking huge here. But for whatever reason, and I'm still not grasping that, he decides like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to do that. He's like, I wanted you to put a stop to the unit. May have gone on living with her. I'm assuming well, he talks about her a lot too, and he talks about Rei, I'm assuming, at that point, because he always looks up to her when she sees it. I can also die here despite it being the destiny to continue living on here. They all hold equal value to me, so you can erase me from the world. If you do not, you will be the ones who end up erasing. life form ends up choosing that it wants to continue to survive. You are not a being who should die. Yeah. I don't know. Your people need the future. So he's okay. So I think he just kind of came to the realization in this moment. It's like, yeah, I could do this, but like, I don't really need to, and it doesn't matter to me. Whereas you guys actually have like a need to continue onwards. So let me sacrifice, you know, self-sacrifice in this point to be able to do it. We get a really long held scene, which like I don't buy for a second. How long is this? Jesus. Way too long. We get one cut in it. I don't buy for a second this is like for like a certain effect or for cinematic reasons or anything. It literally just feels like they had no budget and they were like, we're gonna hold this bitch because we gotta get the full TV airtime, you know? Shinji being happy. It's the first time that somebody actually saw him for him. Somebody actually told him that they loved him, but he was the one who should have survived. My image is frozen. This is when he's talking to Masato. Okay. Yeah. Only those with the will continue to survive, and he didn't end up having that. I don't know. I got no idea. Well, thanks for joining me as I tried to work myself through that, and I don't think I grasped it at all. I will now go edit it so I can hopefully grasp it a little bit more before I continue on forward. I have no clue what to expect, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it all, the like and subscribe to me a lot to me. Feel free to check out the videos and channel. Leave me comments with this better series. I'll be back for episode 25 next week. Also, we're doing episode 25, 6, then movie. And for a few of you who have mentioned stuff and asked before, that's the order we're doing. I've looked it up in a few different things that I've seen. It seems almost unanimous that everybody says it, despite a few of you asking at different times now in the series what way we're doing it because you recommend other ways. It just seems the unanimous way that it's intended this way. And also, I'd rather just watch it in the order it was kind of released. It just feels a little bit more right to do so. So that's what we're going to end up going with. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you next time. Peace.